Comes through.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Two Dudes in a Rabbit Hole. I'm David.
I'm Gavin.
I'm going to try not to be a rabbit hole. I'm Riley.
Today we are bringing you our Super Bowl preview between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Gavin, go ahead and start us off.
So we got the battle of the number one seeds in the East, in the in the AFC and the NFC, and it's going to be a good one. It's a generational quarterback with pretty decent pieces around him versus young, up and coming quarterback with the best skill players or at least the better of the two skill players, offensive line, defensive line, corners. So it'll be
49ers
cool because
happening there.
right, it kind of feels like a battle between two different, like, do you need the generational quarterback or can you just build like a complete team and beat that? So I'm excited to see that. It's also supposedly the youngest quarterbacks to ever start a Super Bowl in NFL history. It's another cool little tidbit. And we got, storylines afoot. You got the Kelsey brothers going against each other. It's the Andy Reid Bowl. Like, it's going to be a great game. I'm just glad that if they're not the best teams in their respective AFC, NFC, it's like pretty close. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. What about you guys?
I'm pretty excited. I am very obviously going to be rooting for the Eagles. That being said, I think it is going to be a very good game, but it could also be a very one-sided game. So it just depends on who gets in rhythm first. And I feel like with the Eagles' defense, I think the Eagles can get in rhythm quicker by keeping Mahomes off the field. But yeah, that's all I really got. I'm hoping that it's a good game because we've seen Super Bowls in recent past be pretty awful.
Denver.
Or the Rams and Patriots.
We don't talk about that. That actually is the worst Super Bowl of all time. I don't know if anybody knows that, but that's an outright fact.
Yeah, when there's only a total of, what was it, 16 points scored?
And it wasn't just 16 points. It was how abysmal the teams looked. Because, like, I can appreciate a lower scoring game, but it was just horrendous to watch that game.
Riley, what are your thoughts
All right,
on the Super Bowl?
Well, the Rams Patriots, clearly Belichick knows what he's doing. Oh, sorry. So, I think there's a ton to this game. I think for anybody else who's listening to any other podcast or anything else, I think it breaks down really simple. You're going to take probably all three levels of the Eagles defense. You're going to take the Eagles offensive line, depending on like Lane Johnson's health. Supposedly he's good to go though. You're going to take the Eagles receivers and you're going to take their running backs. And the only thing you're really going to take from the Chiefs is Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. And Jalen Hurts was what, the fifth best quarterback in the NFL this year? At worst, like very legitimate argument. He should have been MVP, like if he didn't get hurt. Totally fair. I'll listen to that. And Dallas Goedert's what, the sixth best tight end in the NFL? Something like that. So it's not exactly like they're getting lapped on those respective positions. They're not winning as long as Mahomes is relatively healthy. I don't even think he has to be 100%. If he's relatively healthy, awesome. The Eagles should win this, right? Like there's no real reason that I look at the betting lines and it's Eagles by 1.5 points. This should be like Eagles by 4.5, right? Like one team is better in almost every single way, and somehow they're barely favored. I think that's kind of crazy. I think it shows like an insane amount of respect for Patrick Mahomes, which, to be fair, I think he's earned that. I think this game is probably one of two things. It's either Philadelphia just has a little too much on both lines, and we see it early, and it's 23-13 at the half, 27-20 in the fourth, and the Eagles score just pounding the ball down. And you're just like, shit, man, the Chiefs are trying, but they can't quite keep up. They're not winning the offensive line. I think that's scenario one, as much as I hate to say it. And I think scenario two is, as good as the Eagles are, the Chiefs actually do have some like game breakers on defense. They have some really good fucking players. And you're looking at it and you look up in the fourth quarter and it's like, oh, it's 23-13 Kansas City, and this defense is just making play after play after play. And look, do I think it's the most likely thing? No. But it could also be 42-31. And you're just like, oh my God, this Eagles pass rush can't get home. And all of a sudden, Kansas City is off to the races. So I think we're probably ready to make our picks. There's a million things you can say about this game. I think it just comes down to the trenches. Does Mahomes make plays? Does Hurts make plays?
I think it also comes down to Mahomes has the experience in the playoffs, in these big games.
Fair.
Been to the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. He doesn't care about MVP. He doesn't. He wants to win. And I think the betting line thing is a clear fact of not only Mahomes, but Andy Reid, the offense, and the organization itself, that, they've instilled this confidence in bettors that, hey, they're going to make it a game no matter what, and they may even win it.
Looking like a true Raiders fan.
Yeah, it hurt me to say that. I actually might have to throw up. Give me a sec. I'm just kidding.
Proud of you.
But as much as I hate to say it, that's what they've built. And I have my pick. And it's a pick as a true Raiders fan. So.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be. Gavin, let's hear your pick. Fuck David.
Yeah, I was going to hand it to Gavin anyways.
Give me the score, man. Give me the score. I'm ready.
So my prediction is the Chiefs over the Eagles 28-25.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be the Chiefs are down and they come back second half and take over the game just like they did in their last Super Bowl appearance. It is going to totally depend on the health of both the quarterbacks, but they looked all right, especially Mahomes really shocked me because of him being as mobile and as he was and making those throws with a high ankle sprain. So it's good for both of them because they got that 2-week buffer before the game to kind of rest up and see where it goes from there. But it totally is going to come down to probably like 2 or 3 huge plays, or just if one team can execute like a 2-minute drive, like by the end of the half, to try to steal either momentum or points. So I think that's what it's really going to come down to. But I have the Chiefs winning, so I have Mahomes not only winning his second MVP, but also winning his second Super Bowl.
You brought up that Mahomes looked good with that high ankle sprain and all the mobility. They give him really good drugs for pain and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, when you've got...
Aiden loves drugs.
Yeah, they load him up on those painkillers, and you could see at some points when Mahomes was going to throw, and he couldn't just put enough into it. There was a couple out routes or comebacks that he threw that were either short or kind of off the mark in a way that you wouldn't see from Mahomes, and you could kind of tell it was wearing off a bit, but they can give it on the sideline anyways.
Yeah, I just think that's more of the motion of it, because especially on those comeback routes, you want to drive that front foot and know that he can off any other foot, but just not having that fundamental step into those throws.
Yeah.
Like you said, it makes his throws inaccurate at that point. But like I was saying before, it's just they both had 2 weeks additional rest, so we'll see where they are at that point. But David, what you got?
Okay. So here comes my typical Raiders pick. I am picking the Eagles, but I am picking 34-31.
Okay.
I think as much as the defenses want to try and stop it, they're too dynamic on offense on both sides for them to really be that effective. That being said, I do give the edge to the Eagles defense, mainly because that pass rush is bonkers. It is wild. It is freakishly good. Doesn't make any sense. But the big key for the Chiefs is their ability, Andy Reid's ability to adapt mid-game. Not even like going halftime, like middle of the drive to what he's seeing the defense call and adjusting to it. So that's why I at least picked it a 3-point game. But I still picked the Eagles to win.
Gotcha. What you got, Riley? What's your
All right,
Super Bowl
you
score
fucking
prediction?
goddamn Raiders homer over there. So I'm actually gonna like starchly disagree with what David just said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's great at mid-game adjustments. I think he's fantastic at game planning, and I think Sirianni is probably quite a bit better as a mid-game adjuster. And I mean,
Fair enough.
he might be the second best like game planner out there. I think we'll probably see the direction this game goes like well before halftime. Like I'm talking 5 minutes into the second quarter, or maybe even 5 minutes into the first quarter, based on how we see Mahomes used. Because I don't think his like scrambling mobility was there at all last time we saw him, but his pocket mobility was still there, where he could step up, where he could slide a little bit. And yeah, he absolutely missed a couple throws. That sucked. Hopefully for him, with a couple weeks of rest, and yeah, they're absolutely going to shoot him up right before the game. They're probably going to shoot him up right before they come out from halftime too. You know, like that makes the most sense to me. Super common in the NFL and the NBA, Gary Payton Trailblazers, to do that. So this is hard. This is a hard pick.
God, he's going to pick the Chiefs.
I'm gonna, dude. Okay, so how about this? I'm just gonna be as honest as I can. So I'm doing some squares, right? Totally get it's a 1 in 100 chance to win one of these, right? So I'm doing some squares. I have 3 for the Chiefs and I have 0 for the Eagles. So you know what? Fuck it. Chiefs 23, Eagles 20. I think this game should be 35-20 Eagles. Like, I genuinely do. I look at everything and I go, this makes the most sense. Mahomes is a bit hobbled. Even though this is a really good offensive line, this pass rush is fucking otherworldly. Like, they have the best pass rush win rate in over 20 years. They also have the 3rd most sacks in the history of the NFL, like, since that's been a recorded stat. Like, it's absurd, this pass rush. And even if Mahomes is mostly better and can move around some, even if he was 100% healthy, this pass rush might still fuck with him that bad because it's that good. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't feel good about any prediction. I also thought, like, what if I just go 30-23 Eagles? I don't feel good about any of this. I really don't. I think if the Eagles play this right, they should consistently put up points just about every drive. I think if the Chiefs play this right, they kind of actually need to keep the Eagles off the field a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see both a good run game and basically like an elite short passing game from Mahomes. So I'm going to go 23-20. I'm taking the Chiefs. I don't feel good about either direction, to be honest. I just hope it's a really good game.
Good game.
I hope it's a good game. Like, I think the most likely scenario is the Eagles pull away. Or maybe they even get up big and then Mahomes scores a couple times to make it closer. I'm going to go with scenario 2, though, where it's nip and tuck and Kansas City wins it. That's what I got. I don't feel good about anything.
All right, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Gavin and Riley taking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and I, the lone wolf, take the Eagles to win. We'll find out on Sunday. That's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We're two dudes in a rabbit hole. I'm David.
I'm Gavin.
Do we want to bet a hat on this? I'm Riley.
Yeah, I'll bet a hat on this. Is that so you don't have to send me 2 hats?
They're already ordered, man.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're already on their way.
Nice.
So
I can't wait.
Like, you're getting...
I can't wait. I'm mostly excited for the fishing one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.